Hello and welcome back to the Curios cast, another classic episode of Weird News. We've got a guest, Rob.
We have got a guest. Big up a man like Easty.
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
What are you saying?
Not much, mate. It's been a long time overdue, I reckon. I said to old Georgie a while back that I'd quite like to get on, so it's nice to be here.
It is a shame that it's taken us 42 episodes to get you on, but you're finally here.
All you had to do was poison George in order to get on.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was kind of told Lynn. Now he's away. I've told her to poison him just so I can get onto the show. So
yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't think you'd have the shits for 7 weeks, but that's how long it's been.
How are you, Rob? How are you? Since you're back from Wales, mate.
Yeah, I know. What bullshit did they say about me? Like I listened to some like the start of it, and it's something about alien dreads or.
Yeah, I think there was some
and then
life forms growing in one of apparently only one of your dreads.
Just one.
So I guess they've got rid of that one.
And didn't you actually say something about my van? But it was kind of actually true.
Yeah, so you never actually told us a story about what happened with your van.
Yeah,
you sent a photo in the group chat of your van teetering like at a very steep angle that you shouldn't see a van. And you said you was going to inform us of what happened, but you never actually did.
All right, well, I guess, it's a good time. I've never been so scared in all my life. We fucking went up some narrow country lane. We was going to like walk up a mountain, and it was like you drove most of the way up there. Really, it was kind of cheating, but like the car park was fairly high up from sea level, right? So we were trying to drive to it. Went up a narrow country lane. I had to stop to let like these cars come past, and I just couldn't fucking get going again. So like van was like cutting out. It was happening. So like it's already pretty fucking scary, right? Trying to hill start on a thing that just doesn't want to go anywhere, and it's not the easiest thing to get it into the gears, So I'm like fucking. So it's already a bit like. The handbrake's not really holding it either, like handbrake's going on, it's still going like, fuck. So that was already quite scary. So it was like, right, we're gonna have to just roll down. And I wanted to at least get it started, so I had some kind of semblance of control rolling it down. I was like, so I managed to get it started. I'm sort of reversing / rolling down this hill. It's a bit like, this is shit, right? Already fucked.
Yeah.
And then get to like this like a little farmer's field entry bit to like turn around and then try and like drive back down the country lane rather than reverse the entire way down a fucking country lane, right? And I sort of go to turn around, and I sort of say to Gina's like, am I all right on that side of it? And she's like, yeah. All of a sudden, she's like, what's that? Sort of like hit something, and then it's just going. It's just like, and I remember like
backwards or forwards?
Sideways, like I was just like, yeah, and I remember
cars aren't meant to move sideways.
yeah, I know. And then like Gina's like really high up in the air. I'm like looking like that, and she's like, oh, we both like, when they say like you think of things in like, or it all happens in slow motion.
Yeah.
What I realised sort of afterwards thinking about it is what really happens. I think is like a million thoughts go through your head.
Yeah.
And when you remember it back, it's like shooting at a high frame rate. When you play it back, it plays slow. So when you think back, it feels like it was slow motion just because you had a million thoughts. But I distinctly remember like looking down at the ground, and I remember thinking, cool, I wonder what this is going to feel like. Like I was, I'd braced for impact. I was like, that's it, we're hitting the ground. But like there was this split second where it just didn't. It stopped. And I looked at Gina, and she's looked at me, and she's like right up in the fucking air like this. She's like, what the fuck do we do? And I was like, I don't know. And then I like managed to open the door, and I like jumped out, like, and then I just held it. It was just like after she was like,
wait. So at what point? So Gina's up in the air.
Yeah.
And is that so? Your side, are you sort of hanging over?
So yeah, like I guess so. Like afterwards, I realised I was on like a grass verge.
So the van had rolled backwards, and like the left hand side of the van was uphill, and the right hand side of the van was downhill, and it was on this like passenger side up in the air, and your driver's side down towards the ground.
Yeah, I'd essentially reversed back over like a grass verge. So by the time I'd rolled back, the front wheels were like nowhere near the ground anymore. So it
non-existent.
Just went, yeah, like the front right hand side and the back left just like to fall down. and it was fuck all I could do about it. Like I tried for a second to try and drive forward. Obviously, that went out for shit. And then, I realised I could open the door, and so I just opened the door, jumped out, and just held it. Like after she was like, "What if it just fell over?"
Yeah, it just fell on top of you.
What were you gonna do?
Yeah.
In my head, I guess I would have just like moved that away, but like I was like just balanced on like a fucking teetering thing. So like, I feel like I did stop it going, like, but I weren't getting it back. And like, by the time I'd stopped it going, I probably could have moved away, but like I didn't feel like I wanted to. And then like, obviously, if I'm blocking the road, like the first car that comes, this guy jumps out, super nice, and he just ran over and just held it with me, and he just like held it with me the entire time. All these people are coming past, like. Some of them stopped, some of them didn't stop. Some of them just like, I've got to go. Like this one woman was like, she like called back to her daughter, like rang, was like, come on, like leave them. Like, they're obviously fucking English. All the Welsh people were super nice. That one person was like, I'll go find a farmer. She was like, I'll go find one of the farmers. That's what we need. And she just went running off. And then this other bloke, like a load of blokes tried to like help me kind of pull it down so we could like stand on it so we could kind of drive it out. But that just weren't happening. Like petrol's coming out in this time, like, cause just where the tank is like sort of tipped over. The best bit about it though, so we're standing there, loads of people gathered around, like a few cars pulled over. Me and this other guy like, holding the van, and this like Welsh kind of like lad walks past, and his girlfriend's like filming it as well. I'd like to see that footage, but he just walks up and he's like, "Good night, how's it going?" Like in the car, especially, we all just cracked up laughing. Oh yeah, mate, it's grand. Yeah, normal day. Funny, like I saw him after eventually, like someone came back, like this guy had like quite a meaty like 4x4 type thing, and he was like, maybe I could tow you out, and he was like, he didn't have a tow rope or anything, and then this other woman or someone else further down. Someone went to buy us a tow rope, but then this other person turned up with a tow rope eventually. They found one in their car. So they brought this tow rope up tight to the man. He managed to pull us out. Like, when I like felt the flat afterwards, I was just like the sound I made. I was like,
relief.
And then like after that, I was like, fucked it. But the worst was I had to then turn around in the thing I was trying to turn around in, like to get away. That was horrible. I was like, I've got to now turn around here because I still don't want to reverse down the fucking hill. So I had to do that. And that was just like, ugh. But after I drove straight to a campsite, like we don't normally stay in campsites, I drove straight to a campsite. I didn't move for 2 days.
Did you get up to the top of the hill that you were looking to go?
We actually walked up it, so we were quite close from the campsite, and we worked out we could walk there, so we walked the entire way.
Did you kind of feel like, how some people were on like boats for like months, and then they get on land and they're like touching the floor?
It did. After. It was. Yeah, it was. When I was just flat, I was just like, and eventually, like we sort of drove off and like. It went past the people, actually. The person that went off to buy us a tow rope, they obviously didn't get back by the time we was rescued, but we saw him at the bottom of the hill, and it was the wife of the guy that had been holding the van to me the entire time. And like at one point, I was like, "Mate, thank you so much." He was like, "Look, obviously, like don't be silly. This is what you do. You're not gonna, you'd have come past me. I'm sure you'd have done the same." It's super nice. But they were at the bottom of the hill, and they had the tow rope, and they obviously bought it by this point. He was like, "There you go, in case you need it," and just gave it to us anyway.
Oh, that's nice.
Really nice, yeah. But I went past that Welsh guy, the one that said, "How's it going?" as well. I went past him, and obviously, as we drove up to him, I was like, "How's it going?" And he just said, "Oh, you're all right." And I was like, "Yeah." But one of my mates was like, "You missed a golden opportunity to say, I'm just waiting for a mate."
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. If there is any Welsh listeners out there and they have got footage of Rob's
I know,
van,
I thought that, yeah.
Please send
someone,
it.
Because
somehow
she did it like
whatever.
Yeah, she was definitely posting it on Instagram or something.
Yeah, it might have been doing rounds on like Welsh Lad Bible or something.
Yeah, it could be, couldn't it? English fucking idiot. Yeah, English hippie.
They could have probably used the letter that George and Tom said to everyone when you was in Wales. If you want to send them some money, put on there Wales, then Rob. Any money that was donated could go towards that tow rope.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. Pay those people back. Yeah. I wonder if I could have been in like the local like Gazette or something as well, couldn't I? Like.
All right, who wants to go first with their weird news? Luke, you wanna start us off?
Kick it off?
Yeah, I think you should kick it off. Being the
all right,
the guest.
So do you want me to like send it to you guys as well so you can see what I'm reading? Is that a better way of doing it?
Yeah. If you drop it in.
I'm gonna I'll quickly send it over. Let me read the headline while I'm finding it as well. So Chinese man almost dies after a 20 centimetre eel is inserted into his rectum in a bizarre bid to relieve constipation entered his abdomen.
That is such a Curios cast.
I was going to say,
I'm glad I haven't let you down here.
You've definitely met the brief, haven't you?
You can tell I've listened, right?
Yeah.
Right, let me just send this to you first, Tom, and then it'll give you a bit
Tom
of an
can just
idea.
forward it on and you can crack on.
Yeah, forward it on, Tom. Right, so a Chinese man nearly died after allegedly inserting a wiggling 8-inch eel into his backside to treat his constipation. The live fish bit through the man's colon before getting stuck in his abdomen, doctors said. The unnamed patient claimed he decided to use the creature to solve his bowel problems after following a folk remedy. Have you ever heard of a folk remedy, lads, that's involved?
Funnily enough, right, not that, right, but I was constipated the other day.
Was this the stress of the van?
Yeah, it might have been. It was after that. It might have been, you know. Gina said it was probably fucking stress because, I obviously did fucking stress me out. It was when we got home from that trip, and I was fucking constipated. And I looked up, like, you know, like you do, you fucking Google it, didn't you? Like Google, like how to relieve constipation and shit. And one of them was basically like stimulate the perineum, or and it said something about like, and then it said like sticking a finger up your ass. Essentially, is what it said. But it also said like you should not anyone should do it. You should have a doctor do it or something.
Right.
So sticking a live eel up there seems like the next best option to your own finger, I guess, and easier.
Tom, have you ever heard of anything like that?
No. I've got
it's not your go-to thought then. No, just to get a live eel up there.
No, I just knock back some bran flakes or something. Yeah.
the classic remedy for the English.
Apple juice. One of my mates told me, like during all this, I was like, hit on some apple juice.
Oh, okay.
I was trying coffee. And normally I'll shit.
Coffee's meant to be one, right?
Yeah. Well, normally I'm a pretty consistent for. I'm sure I've mentioned this many times on the podcast, as we like to talk about shit too often, as we've been told by some listeners. I'm regular. I'm like four a day, so it was really upsetting me. Gina really liked hearing about it. As you can imagine, every other hour or so, I still don't know shit.
So it says here, doctors operated to remove the eel, which was still alive, but warned the man he could have
alive
died
as well.
It was still alive, apparently.
I guess it's like wet in there.
I don't know, maybe.
Are eels amphibious? Is that a stupid thing to say?
What would you say?
I think
are eels amphibious, or are they like?
Oh right, yeah. I don't know.
That's probably a stupid thing to say, isn't it?
No, because I don't know.
Yeah. It does make me think of the Mighty Boosh. Heels up inside you, finding an entrance where they can.
Maybe that's what he watched.
Yeah.
I feel like they are a fish, but I bet there's like tons of different types of eels. You know, there probably are some that's amphibious or whatever.
Well, there's that. I see like a nature program. There's like that eel that like it like almost like goes into like a what's the word, like cryogenic, not cryogenic, but like a stasis type thing where it shuts itself down, like, and it's on dry land, and then when the water hits again in like the rainy season, it reanimates like a sea monkey.
Quite a lot of fish do that, actually.
Yeah, what actually is a sea monkey? Like, because they are. Did you ever have sea monkeys as a kid? Like, they are a fucking animal comes out. Like, did you ever have them?
Yeah, weren't they just like tadpole
shrimp
type things?
No, they're like a little shrimp. They're like a little shrimp fucker. They're like a little prawn. Like,
but you got them in like a little tub, right? If I remember right,
and they were like, but they weren't eggs. I don't think they were. Maybe they were eggs. Were
it
they
must have had to be eggs
or
something.
But if they were eggs, why did you just... They're in a packet in Toys R Us for like a year.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, why did you sticking them in water? What? If anyone knows what the fuck sea monkeys are, they're far out, aren't they? Can you still get them, or is that like quite an...
Yeah, I don't think I've seen or heard about sea monkeys like...
Maybe you can go to like your local shop or something and just pop in there for a pint of milk and some sea monkeys.
Yeah, but I say it's probably the only thing that you really hear about now on a BuzzFeed article. Like, do you remember this?
I reckon I was the last generation to have sea monkeys, and I feel like people my age were not. Like, I remember just not being interested. I remember having sea monkeys. I must have seen them on an advert, or maybe like someone older than me tried to get me into. Oh, when I was young, we had sea monkeys or whatever.
Your aunt bought them for you or something.
Yeah, and I was just way more interested in like SpongeBob and
or your Xbox 360 or something.
and I was about to say like Spyro.
Yeah.
Oh, the classic PlayStation. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah. I'm gonna.
You can't have had a PlayStation 1.
I had a PlayStation 1, but it was like.
Was it too old for you?
Yeah, you must have bought it like as a retro.
No, like, I think it was my dad's. Like it weren't. I didn't buy one.
Hell.
But I think when did it come out? It came out in like 90, like 4 or 5. The PlayStation
94,
1.
95.
Because I was born in 96, so obviously I was too young to play. But then I think I was maybe like 4 or 5 when the PlayStation 2 came out. You know, so on that border.
Yeah, that makes me feel old.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. You're only like 5 years older than me.
Yeah. But that's all the difference, mate. Yeah. That's all the difference.
Yeah, certain things generationally as well, don't it? You do like feel like you just miss an entire fucking wave of
it's true.
Trends, especially like school trends, like pogs. Like,
oh yeah, mate.
You know, like, do you even know what a pog is?
I know what a pog is, but they were
just
done
reading
by
the
the time
BuzzFeed
I was a schoolboy.
Yeah, and Tazos, like.
Oh, I don't know what a Tazo is.
So it was like, they were like pogs. I think they came out slightly later, probably just catching onto the trend. But you got them free in like crisps. And they were like collectibles.
Yeah.
They did like a Looney Tunes ones, didn't they? Then they did Star Wars Tazos, which was sick.
Yeah.
But they clipped together for some weird reason. And you could sort of make a structure out of them, but like it wasn't really anything. I don't really.
Yeah, I can see pictures of them here. There's like Pokemon and like Powerpuff Girls and shit.
I never know they went that far. Yeah, it was Looney Tunes ones and Star Wars was.
I specifically remember the Looney Tunes ones.
Yeah, they were the originals, and there was like 1 to 100 of them. And
did you was there ever a thing in your school, Rob, like a craze as a kid with yo-yos?
Oh yeah, yo-yos was
and
a big one.
You could switch the sides for different colours and things like that. Like,
and the Pro Yo 2 was like the
bad boy
was the one, and there was that guy Johans, remember him? And it was only like it's only upon like talking about him again while being older that I was like, oh, that wasn't his real name. Like I just fully accepted.
He was born for this.
Yeah, I just really thought that was his name.
We had a yo-yo man that came into school. For like an assembly. Wow. It was just one day, like he not like on a regular, but I think I was in year 5 or so, you know, I'm like 9-10 years old, which is like prime yo-yo age. He came in for like an assembly, and there might have been like 2 people that came in, maybe like him and then some kid who was like a yo-yo prodigy or whatever.
When you say man, Tom, was he a man in your eyes, or was he like a 21-year-old guy?
Thinking about it.
He was a man in my eyes, so I'm still picturing a man in my head, but he might have been like 17 or something. You never know. Yeah. But he came in and he knew like all the fucking tricks. He's flicking them about. You know, he's got like 4 of them on the go at once, and then so everyone's like, wow, fucking mind blown. And then they said, oh, for the next week, we're going to be selling yo-yos in like the break room at school. So I remember all the kids going home going, please, Mum, I need a fucking yo-yo. They were selling them like in the playground after school. So obviously all the kids are there, parents picking them up from school, and they're being like, Mum, look, yo-yos, I want this one, I want that one. And then
what industrious teacher came up with that idea?
I don't know,
entrepreneurial teacher.
Surely I don't know what the school were getting out of it. Surely like a cut of some money.
It's kind of propaganda, isn't it? Really, like let's get them super hyped about it, and then sell them for an inflated price.
PR.
Yeah, that's great.
PR.
And then obviously for like a week, you're I'm gonna be the next yo-yo man. I'm gonna be Johans.
Johans.
But then, as kids do, you just get bored of it and move on.
Yeah. There's a really interesting like subculture around yo-yos as well that still goes on as well. Like they still have like mad competitions for it and shit. That might be worth looking into, Tom.
There you go.
Yeah. How far did we get with the eel up his ass? How far did it get?
The doctors operated to remove the eel, which was still alive, but warned the man he could have died from hemolysis. Hemolysis, is that? I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's when the red blood cells are destroyed, caused when bacteria from the large intestines reaches the where are we? abdomen. The news came to light after the man sought medical attention at a hospital in East China province for severe abdominal pain. He intentionally avoided seeking medical attention for the pain because he was shy, the Global Times reported. There was no scientific evidence to support the folk remedy the man was following. Really?
Odd. Yeah, that's odd.
But it does say here, actually, another Chinese man said to be in his 50s followed the folk remedy last year, inserting a 16-inch eel into his rectum.
How much was this guy's one? How big was the guy?
The first guy?
It was 20, right?
Yeah.
20, where is it?
20, 20 centimetre.
20 centimetres.
8 inch. So the other guy,
the other one was, he got
a 16-inch in there, lads.
Oof.
He didn't mess about. The live fish tore through the man's intestines before dying and getting stuck in his abdomen for a week. Oh. So that was the second guy. The news came to light after the man sought medical attention at the hospital in the Chinese province due to severe abdominal pain. Doctors removed the fish in emergency surgery and said the man's organ had been severely infected and filled with the waste matter.
Brutal.
The man was treated in intensive care for 3 days before being discharged.
Well,
there we go, Rob.
Yeah. Was he still constipated? That's the killer question, isn't it? Right.
Well, it doesn't say, but you can see from the pictures. It's quite a. I mean,
you'd feel so good after a fucking 16-inch eel coming out of your ass, wouldn't you? Like, when you've been needing to go for a while, and you're like, like the release of pressure.
Do you reckon the doctors, after they took out the eel, they thought as a kind gesture, let's just remove the shit as well?
Yeah,
let's help him out. Like, come on, it does say very quickly just underneath as well, which I just noticed. It just stuck out in my head just then when I just read it. It just said, also last year, a man got a 10-inch chopstick lodged in his belly after inserting it into his backside out of curiosity.
Yeah, I saw that.
The 68-year-old man claimed that he was interested in checking his backside after developing piles. So there we go.
He just wanted to stick a chopstick up his arse, didn't he?
There we go. At 68, what else you got to explore?
Yeah, well, exactly. Fucking fair play, mate.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Do you know what's funny? Just flicking through that article, it's funny how many articles that I flicked through while doing this that just looked exactly the same as this. Like a medical tray, an X-ray scan of something inside someone.
Do you reckon that's quite common anyway? Just like A&E. I think in any country, I think like if you're a nurse or like a doctor, it must be quite common that you just get the odd like, yeah, I got something stuck up my ass. Like,
it's got to be. Yeah.
I think I saw a Reddit thread before that was just, it was like, doctors and nurses have Reddit. What's the weirdest thing you've seen up an arse or something? And
right,
there are some mad things on there. And like people will just grab like household objects. It'll be like remote controls for the TV or batteries or something like that. And but then every now and again there'll just be something mad. Like how did you even manage to fit that in there, or why did you want to put it out there? Like a pair of glasses or something. It's like, what? Surely that wouldn't even feel good.
Yeah, that's really weird.
With the ill situation, obviously it was still alive in the guy's abdomen, right? But at what point, because they're quite slippery fuckers, I can imagine, right? They're not...
Yeah, that must have been hard to do. It's true. Yeah, that must have been hard.
Did he do like one hand arse cheek, the other hand trying to like...
that's a great point.
I don't know, like, how does that work?
Maybe he had help.
And you would have had to like...
Chopstick man came to his rescue.
Like, I guess like warm up your arsehole a little bit before. Like, you can't just like, I wouldn't, as much as I tried, I don't think I'd be able to like do it because I haven't like practiced. You need to. And
like, even as you say, like, you see videos and stuff of someone like just trying to generally hold an eel. And that's like really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like managing to feed it. And it must have gone mouth first if it's fucked up his adnot. Do you think?
100%, yeah. It's gone mouth first in.
It must have. Otherwise it would have came out probably.
I know he needed to go mouth first, I guess, to chew at his shit. Was that the idea?
Oh, fuck yeah, yeah, I guess so.
It wasn't just sticking something up his arse, so it wouldn't have been ill, would it?
No, that's just true. Well, imagine the pain, though, because not only are you constipated, you've now shoved an eel up your arse.
Christ, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it probably just pushed all the shit further up.
I mean, that's pretty Darwin Awards, really, if he died, isn't it? Like, that would have been...
Yeah.
Yeah, mate.
I could have made it into an episode the other day.
Well, there we go.
The second guy, yeah, he could have been in it, yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Nice.
There you go, lads. First story in.
That was good.
A classic Curios.
That was classic Curios.
We even got to talk about my bowel movements, which is always is always a treat.
I think I'll go next.
Segue in, Tom. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not really a way to segue this at all. They are pretty unrelated. Glasgow police officer calls for support after being pursued by a drone. Turns out it was actually a planet.
Hey.
Excellent.
So I'll send you.
I'm fucking hyped for this already.
Link for this. There's not much more to it other than that. Basically,
that's it. Says all you need to know. Really,
Yeah.
nothing at all interesting or curious about that.
Yeah. The rookie Glasgow police officer is reported to have called in help from her fellow officers. A rookie. Okay, that's the same line. It said it again. A rookie Glasgow police officer called in help from her fellow officers after being pursued for miles through the city by a drone, only to be told that the suspect aerial object following her was actually a planet, Jupiter to be exact. The largest planet in our solar system, located some 365 million miles from Earth, must have been shining pretty bright to warrant, if you'll excuse the pun, the concerns of the officer this past Tuesday night.
Why is that a pun?
I guess it says warrant. Like,
right, yeah.
I mean, it's not.
I was looking out for like a planet pun.
No, there was no need to ask for an excuse of the pun.
No,
it wasn't that big of a pun.
No.
According to the Daily Record, the cop attempted and failed to shake free of the planet. Okay, shake free of the planet that was on her tail as she headed towards Glasgow Thought Shopping Centre, calling the General Police Scotland complaints number to flag her predicament.
No way. Did say this was a woman or a police officer?
The police officer was a woman.
Oh, sorry. It wasn't just a random. It was a police officer.
Yeah.
Like called for like backup, basically.
Yeah.
What I like about this so far is that the first thing that it talks about is it says a rookie Glasgow police officer. It's if to say a senior officer wouldn't.
See, if you had the experience of the Force, you would know what Jupiter looks like. Did they not cover this in your training?
Should we ask Dan Hay?
Drone versus planet. They're just there like a classroom of like 30 police officers, and then there's some like sergeant at the front. He's got, all right, now this is a drone. And he flicks over. It's just a close up of Jupiter. Now what's this? If you look carefully, no propellers.
See, I was all ready for like a stupid alien story there. I was really hyped for it. Turned around, it was actually the subplanet of.
It says
Zeta Reticuli.
It says on return to her police station, a senior officer is reported to have explained to her that the drone following her car was in fact the fifth planet from the sun, a planet which is often visible on a clear night. So I imagine.
I have seen Jupiter. Have you seen Jupiter?
Yeah, I've seen. Like you can. There's quite. You can see most of the planets. Like under. Whatever conditions, like you can see Mars and Venus and Jupiter and stuff. So it's not crazy, but they don't look. They're not huge. They're not like drone-ish.
No, they're not. But I guess maybe she was looking in the rearview mirror, which was magnified a bit.
But it looks just like a star.
Yeah. Yeah. More like you just think it was a star, right?
Yeah. There's thousands of drones and one huge one.
And they seem to be making like a constellation. like at the Olympic ceremony. It's the Chinese.
That would probably be the go-to excuse as well, wouldn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah.
The story is the talk of the steamy at her station. I don't know what that means.
Like the coffee room, maybe?
Yeah.
Or the tea
room. Nobody can quite believe it. She was very alarmed and spooked as she was being followed by a drone.
This really rings a bell as well. I swear maybe we've done something similar before. Like, I don't remember it that much, but it really rings a bell. Maybe it happened to me.
I was speaking to a friend the other day, and they said that in the military now, they have like a mothership, and that what happens is they take this, I don't know, like a aircraft of some sort, and then basically tons of drones come off of that.
Oh.
And then they're used as now like, I guess they have some sort of weapon on them rather than sending soldiers in. So like, it's pretty mad how far that sort of stuff. Because obviously as a kid you'd watch films and you'd see like these crazy sort of spaceship type things, right? But now obviously like drones is probably one of the closest things, I guess, to...
Well, yeah, you get that in drone strikes. They talk about in America, didn't they, all the time, where it's like a unmanned aerial vehicle goes in and fucking blows people. Well, they did it in even like World War II. The Germans had they were called something, and my granddad used to tell us about them, and it was like that doodle bugs, I think.
Yeah, doodle bugs, yeah.
And they would have a little engine, and it essentially go for a certain amount of time, and then it was when the engine stopped, it'd drop out the air.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Mm.
Yeah, this was not that. It was a plane.
This was not that. This was stupid. This reminds me as well of a time when I saw right. You're gonna think I'm full of shit, like, and I'm feeling like this lady, but I swear to God, once, right, I saw the moon, and it was the craziest, like, biggest moon I've ever seen in my whole life.
No way.
It was. No, but I need to describe how big it was, like, in order for you to understand how crazy it was. Like, I can't get, like, how do you say how big something was in the sky? But like it took up like 80% of the sky in front of me.
Fuck off.
I swear to God.
What was you drinking or smoking?
It was crazy. Like, it was after, like, we used to do these things. There was these things at uni called extravs, which were like end of year parties where bands are on stage and stuff. And you'd obviously get mad pissed and shit. And I'd probably gone and had a bit of a smoke with my friends back before I came back, because I was living in town at the time. So I'd got a bus back to town. So yes, but right, I was with a girlfriend at the time and she saw it as well. And we were like walking up, like Lancaster is where I went to uni, right? And all the streets, picture like Coronation Street, you know, like that classic sort of like northern streets like that. And we were like walking up, like one of mine, like near mine before we turned off the mine. And like the moon was just perfectly like took up the entire view of the street. So you could see house, moon. And it was like, honestly, it was fucking mental. I've never seen anything like it. I remember we had to like go. I was like, we needed to walk up that way just to see the moon more, like get a clearer view of, because it was.
We need to get closer to the moon.
Well, I think
it's getting bigger.
I meant to work this out with her actually, because like Gina's banging to the moon, and was telling me about
wild ass.
Yeah, it was telling me about like. So you do get like super moons, you know, that is a thing where they are bigger. And like the other day we saw it, and it was like just the right sort of time of the evening where it was like the biggest it was going to be, and it was a supermoon, and it was fucking mad, right? It was nowhere near as big, but it was.
Was this like a few nights ago? Because I remember seeing it or like a week ago or something. I remember looking at the moon being, fuck, that does look big. But
I think there was one a few weeks ago as well, but there was about a month or so ago, this one, but. And then she was like, yeah, maybe it's not that ridiculous after all, what you said. Because the first time I told her, she was like, you're an idiot. She was like, we should try and work out when it was, like, because I reckon I could roughly work out what year it was, and I know it was in the extravs, and you can go back and like see like supermoons and see if it was a particularly super mega moon. So I'm going to fucking do that.
I was going to say,
I'm going to report back.
My point was I was going to say was that surely it would have been reported somewhere how fucking big this moon was.
Yeah, but I mean, social media wasn't as big then, so it wasn't like I had Facebook, but when I had Facebook at uni, it was people still, I don't know whether it was true or not, but people still thought you had to sign up with your uni email to get it. Probably wasn't true by the time it hit the UK, but that's what I was at least told when I signed up. So that was like how early stages of Facebook.
Yeah, I feel like now, whenever there is like a super blood moon or something, you know, you see people post it on Facebook saying, look out your window tonight or whatever.
Yeah,
but that wouldn't have happened like 10, 15 years ago.
Nah.
But I still think that is not true.
It fucking is, right?
I believe that you saw, or I believe that you believe you saw that.
Yeah, I was going to say, what was that? I believe that you believe that. I was in the fucking episode of The Wire I was watching yesterday.
But that is ridiculous, taking up 80% of the sky.
But Rob,
it fucking was, honestly.
It's like,
if you knew what a drone looked like back then, Yeah. If you knew what a drone looked back then, would you have mistaken that for a drone?
No, I'd have thought it was a fucking planet about to fall into the sky, or a Death Star.
Death Star, yeah?
Yeah. Well, apparently on 2016 was the largest supermoon since 1948. So it was neither of those dates that I saw it. So I'm already a little doubtful.
Could be a time traveler.
This article don't have a fucking clue what it's on about. Fuck them. I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes.
Was you looking through like a really warped window or something?
Yeah, magnified.
No, it was in the street. It was in the fucking street. It could have been like
a balloon.
No, it could, maybe like the clouds refracted it, and I wasn't actually seeing the moon. I was seeing like because I did once another time see. Again, it was one of the first times I got really high, but loads of us were there, right? And we went out like walking around, and we were looking for this place called the Circle, and then we saw the moon, and my friend was like, maybe that's the Circle. But it was like there was the moon, and then again, it's hard to say how far away it was, but like say the moon's this big, this far the moon's this big, like this far away, and so like that circumference all the way around it was like this ring of cloud, like a perfect circle that circled all the way around the moon in like a massive, and it was cloud. It was really bizarre. I don't know what caused it.
There is like a name for that, the
cloud is nowhere near the moon,
halo or something. But like,
yeah, that sounds. I
think it's got an actual name, but yeah,
it's got to be something to do with, I guess, the sun's rays just about splitting the cloud enough, because obviously the clouds are nowhere fucking near the moon.
Yeah, no,
so you're saying the reflection could have potentially caused.
So I could have maybe seen some sort of inversion of that, maybe where I don't know.
I like the fact you're justifying this.
Well, it's like like the morning dew magnified. It was like a morning dew haze, because it was probably like 4 or 5 in the morning by the time I was getting back. Maybe like something like that, I think.
Yes, I've quickly looked that up, and it's called the 22-degree halo, because it happens when the sun or the moon is about 22 degrees, like, you know, from the horizon. And it usually happens in the winter, because there's like, I guess like frozen, watery, snowy kind of particles in the air, and that causes it to refract and make a halo around the moon.
There we go.
But it doesn't. It doesn't look like the moon is, you know, 1,000 times bigger than it actually is.
No, all I can find, I'm trying to look at a history of supermoons. All I can find, it goes back as 2013. I need like going to be 2007. I think I need to know.
2007 supermoon.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for me. Just this stupid police officer getting chased by Jupiter. It's crazy that we put these people in charge of, you know, keeping the country in order.
Yeah, it does say in that article as well, Tom. It has a statement that says this is going to haunt her for years.
It will do, because here we are talking about it.
Yeah, she'll be like Jupiter girl, won't she? Like to everyone, they'll be like, "All right, Droney," or
Droney. Oh, this is quite recent. This is only like a month ago. Not even that.
Oh, was it?
We'll get her on the show. She can talk. Yeah, talk about it. Yeah,
Droney.
Maybe you and her, Rob, can talk about moons together.
We can fucking talk about. Yeah, I'll be happy to. Funnily enough, right, Tom? We can segue to mine.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, from the planets and potential alien-like vessels following someone.
Yeah.
Moving on to alien abduction.
Oh.
Right. So you know I love aliens, so I couldn't resist this. Right. I mean, it's one of those ones where the headline pretty much says it all, but it's still quite funny to dig into it. I'm going to refute the first line as well. London YouTuber. She's definitely American. Anyway, she might live in London, I guess. London YouTuber claims to have been abducted by aliens and fallen in love with one of them.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So, apparently, right. This video says, sick of men on Earth, London actress Abbie Bela says that she hopes to normalise interspecies dating.
Oh, here we go. There's going to be like some sort of Tinder or something in there.
Yeah, eventually she makes good to be an advert. To find her soulmate, London actress Abbie Bela looked to the skies. She claims that she fell for an alien after it swept her into its UFO and right off her feet. So this is quite recent because it's like bored by the pandemic and unimpressed by the offerings on Earth. So she was sick of, you know, some people say I'm sick of UK men, or I'm sick of Earthlings. I've had enough of these Earthlings. They're all fucked. She joked online about wanting an alien to abduct me. Right, so she has a channel on YouTube, and she did one jokey YouTube video. I watched it actually, where she's like, these are things that are shit about men that like an alien wouldn't do or something. It's like,
and she knows this, and she knows.
Well, yeah, from her extensive alien research, I'm not sure. And then he says, before long, she began to have dreams of white light, and then on May 31st, she heard a voice in her dream. It commanded her to wait in the usual spot. Right. She never heard the voice, but she said she knew what it meant. The next evening, so she used to sleep with her window open as well. She says in this video, she does a big long video about this, and like about the experience. She's done it like, I think she filmed the video after this article came out, or maybe it was before. It must have been before, maybe. Anyway, but yeah, I couldn't get through it. I'll be really honest with you. I did try. It was pretty mad. And at first, because she does say, she's like,
fucking mental.
You know, no, she's like, she starts off as like, I'm pretty skeptical, and at first I thought like, and then she says about how she's, and I started, because as I was sort of watching it, I was kind of half paying attention, half like just reading the comments, because a fair few comments on it, and she was like, and some of the comments were like, oh, do you write all your own stuff? Is this like a, you know, you can see you're a writer, you're really great at being a writer and stuff, and I was like, oh, so maybe this is just a bit, you know, like maybe the whole thing, this is just, you know, she's doing like a character, because it seemed to be what some of the comments were saying, and she wasn't disputing it. But I don't know if they were just trolling or they were just idiot. I don't know. But the video wasn't that, because I thought, oh, maybe in the video she's about to say, she's saying maybe she's about to say this was a really clever like way to just reel in the Daily Mail, or whatever the fuck, did an article on it, you know, like just taking the piss out of him. I didn't really mean it, you know, but no, it wasn't that. She does mean it apparently. And she goes on to say how she was skeptical, and I would think this was weird too, and I wouldn't believe it, but an alien came and got me. Yeah. And so she says about, so she waited and she began to fall asleep at around 12:15. A flying saucer swept into view. Before Bella knew it, she wasn't in her bedroom any longer. There was a bright green beam which transported me to the UFO. Most might be alarmed by such a turn of events, but not Bella. I'm one of those people who's had weird encounters all my life, which is an interesting recurring theme whenever we talk about alien stuff, isn't it? It's a great picture you put in there, Tom.
The classic.
Yeah, like whenever we talk about an alien encounter, there's always like, I've had a lot of alien encounters, and like I watched, like there was a dude on, who was it? It was it's one of the guys from Ghostbusters, Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd's big on the aliens. And like he's a big like alien guy and big alien believer, and speaks at conferences and stuff. Obviously, if you're like already famous, and you start talking about aliens, you can go to all these like alien conferences. Probably be a good way if you're drying up on money, just getting a bit of extra money for appealing at an alien conference. But yeah, and I noticed him. He was like, I always had experiences when I was a kid, or I always wanted to see him. And it's like, did you not think you maybe ever slightly skewed? But that being said, I would love to see an alien, and I haven't.
Yeah, but then I think to myself, if you wanted to see something desperately, your mind could potentially perceive.
It does seem a little coincidental that you really wanted, and you've always seen them. Like, how comes I've never seen one then, and you've seen many? Like,
there's a big thing at the moment, actually, that you're just coming across just standard news articles, or just there's a lot of things at the moment of UFO reporting. It's more than standard. I don't know why. Maybe it's a subliminary thing that the media are trying to get out. I don't know, but like it's quite funny you brought this up, because I read it. There we go. Maybe I really want to see it.
Yeah.
Maybe tonight. Maybe leave the window open.
Well, it does mention that in here, actually, how the pandemic was like upped sightings. And like, you know, you could either say that's because more people are at home observing the skies, or just more people were bored, or more people were taking drugs because there was nothing else to do.
People are going fucking mental.
Or people just going stir crazy, yeah. Or there was more aliens visiting because they were wondering what the fuck was going on with the pandemic. They wanted to come, you know,
Curious.
like, they wanted to come check in on us. Because, like, I mean, there are theories that say about, like, alien sightings supposedly always up around, like, we probably spoke about this in the podcast, up around, like, nuclear testing and stuff like that. So, like, it could be like that, where they're like, fuck me, the chimps have let one of them viruses out again. Fuck. This is what happened to species 8974 in planet 27 sub B. Like, they all died from a pandemic. Like, we better go fucking check on them, you know.
Maybe, Rob, they're the ones that started it.
Just for some population control, because, like, we are an alien.
Getting too much, mate.
We're basically an alien sea monkey.
Yeah, we're in a little jar, mate.
Yeah, we're on an alien shelf somewhere.
It is a bit. I wonder if it's a coincidence or if the aliens sort her out, because 5 months ago she did have a video that says, "Why won't aliens abduct me?" And then an episode 2 months ago, no, 1 month ago, saying, "I date alien. No, my UFO abduction story. I'm in love with an alien." Then reasons to date an alien instead of Earthmen.
That's the one I watched.
And then
so
I was fat shamed in the British tabloids, and then basically, I haven't. It's a long video, but there's she was in the Daily Star about, you know, did the Earthling move for you? Blah blah blah. A woman who says she hooked up with an alien. Typical Daily Star stuff. And then another one, I'm dating an alien, our 1 month anniversary. And then there's her with an inflatable alien.
Classic.
Well, I think is that the alien? This inflatable alien? Because
no, I guess that's just a graphic representation of. But in that video where she says about I was fat shamed, but I think for, like, again, I watched a brief amount of that. It was really like the comments and shit like that. The people were being pricks. I don't think it was actually not that I'd want to be in defence of the Daily Star in any way, shape, or form. But
and she's had a you know, bit of a crazy year, because 6 months ago she uploaded a video saying that. My life as a Russian spy, my top secret Russian spy confessions.
Yeah,
maybe that's why the aliens visited her.
Yeah,
you never know.
Well, do you know what's like? I said this before, but, you know, it's nice when I find it really interesting when you find like a YouTube channel that's got like not many views, like, and I feel like I've stumbled across something like a rare kind of gold mine.
I was going to say, like, this article referred to as a YouTuber, which is the term that I would usually use for someone who does YouTube as a living and, like, gets paid for it, and like that's their primary thing. But, like, not us. Like, we would be flattered. I was going to say, we've got more views than this girl. Like, we're bigger than her.
Maybe, lads, if we ask the older UFOs, they might come visit us, and we
got slightly more subs. And we talk about you all the time, lads. Like, you must know.
You must have heard of us.
Yeah. But yeah, she fucking so she gets abducted by this alien. There was 5 in there, she said.
Oh yeah.
They blitzed about for a while. It doesn't actually say that they boned or anything like that. Which I was sort of expecting. Maybe in the Daily Star article it does. This is in I'm not sure what this website. allthat'sinteresting.com. Shout out.
It is interesting.
It is interesting. Like, wherever you say it's interesting, yeah. She said, I couldn't see them clearly, and they telepathically said, I'm not ready to see them in their true form, as other people report in Alien Signs. But from what I could see, they had a slight green hue and big black eyes with human features such as eyebrows. Which, interestingly enough, her little green man mate doesn't have eyebrows. She should have drawn some on. for what's the word? Continuity.
There we go.
Yeah, so in a sketch Bella drew for Cater's News. Annoyingly, this article, I think, hasn't all loaded properly, because I did see the sketch in another article, and it's I haven't got it in this one. It's just shit. It's just it's basically a picture of that green alien that Tom shared the picture of. She said she wasn't frightened, she was love struck, right? So instantly. There was one that connected with me, she gushed. I think that's
strong.
And I felt that when I read it. It was like, especially if you read the punctuation, there was one who connected with me. She gushed, and then she got the gush. There was one that connected with me. She gushed. Like, that's a strange word.
Yes.
Anyway, I know what they mean. It's like, anyway, describing the feeling as being in love. times 100. I like this. I didn't get his name, but I felt exactly the same. I didn't catch it. Didn't catch his name.
Do you reckon she'd be able to pronounce it if she did know his name?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. She couldn't comprehend his name.
Yeah.
However, the star-crossed lovers faced a few hurdles. For one, the alien told us. Alien did speak to her. It was speaking to her, but didn't get his name. Told her that dating a human was taboo. From Zeta Reticuli, wherever he's from. Although he was willing to break the rules. For another, Bella wasn't sure that she wanted to leave planet Earth and never look back, because he said she had to consent and in order to go with them, so they weren't just going to kidnap her. She was like, so this was a pretty modern liberal alien, because it made sure he asked for consent.
So aliens taking her up to the ship.
Yeah,
right. He's had a chat with her, but he said to her, "Hang on, love. If you wanna crack on with me, you're right to do it." And then, okay. So he's already brought her up though. Like that's cool.
She was in the ship. She was, that's true. Like without her consent,
like just
sucked her out a window in a green beam. But I guess like, I mean, that's how aliens do. That's
how they roll, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it the equivalent of like pulling up?
Yeah, maybe.
In a car, undoing your window.
Yeah.
And then
they don't really know that that's not the done thing, just to suck someone out their window. Right. Yeah, maybe. But what they do know is the done thing is to not remove them from their planet entirely without their consent. So
fair enough.
He asks that, and she's like, "Do you know what? Like, I kind of want to go, but I don't want to go in case they take me always, So." The guy's asking her permission, but she didn't think to say, I'll go for like a week or so. She was just like, I can't take the chances, so I quite like Earth. As much as she doesn't like Earth men, I guess she still likes Earth enough that she didn't want to go forever. So
she's got a YouTube channel here.
She has got a YouTube channel to maintain. On. That's true. That's a very good point. Yeah. So sadly, Bella left the UFO after just 20 minutes. And back on Earth, she bemoaned the gaping differences between aliens and Earthmen. Aliens offer an extra quality of care, she said. So, like, she's got a lot of insight from these 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Men on Earth
didn't get his name.
Men on Earth just tell lies and have double standards. Some, Bella noted, might be squeamish about Earthling-alien relationships, but they just haven't considered interspecies dating. Bella hopes to be a pioneer in this field and normalise interplanetary love.
I'm up for it.
I mean, why the fuck not? Yeah.
I didn't know it was denormalized.
Yeah, like taboo apparently, because it's a common topic. Someone in the comments was like, hook me up with 2 nice female aliens, please. I mean, how do they know?
I mean, is that?
Yeah, I think he did something. Maybe he said, I think he did
getting
say
a bit ahead
I want a couple.
Yeah. You don't even know what one alien bird's like, let alone 2.
I'm not even sure. They probably don't really have gender, do they?
Well, this is the point, because you said,
why do you need it?
You said earlier on, you was like, he or something like that. You don't know, do you?
You don't know. Alien could just, they've evolved beyond a need for gender, and they breed by like going like,
how's it go?
It's like, and a bit. Well, actually, no. I know how they breed. They get in a big watery, liquidy, kind of gooey egg thing, and then they get another one put in with them, and they get left. They get left for like in the fridge.
No, you rub their backs together.
Their backs get rubbed together, and then you leave them. I'm pretty sure you leave them in a dark place for like 2 weeks, and then that's how they breed. Yeah,
I used to love those fucking things. Those
so weird, weren't they?
Aliens.
So weird.
I don't know what they were called. Aliens in eggs, squidgy.
I literally just had the standard grey one.
Yeah, you can Google it. You can find it online, but just by searching, did those alien eggs really breed or something like that?
Oh, it was aliens with a Z. Alien.
Classic.
Yeah.
In our school, there was one stuck to the school hall, like where you had lunch,
like
stuck to the ceiling.
Up in the ceiling.
And it was really high, the ceiling. I remember always being like, I guess I was a bit small as a kid, but I remember it being really far away, and someone had launched it up there, and it was there for like the rest of the time I was at school, I think.
It's probably still there, Rob.
It probably fucking is still there. How would they have got that down? Yeah, it was. Unless one day someone's eating their lunch and just like one day, like 10 years later, this alien just landed their lunch. Like, what the fuck is this thing?
I do remember the whole rubbing their backs together and it'll make babies, and like people would come into school and swear that they had bred their aliens
It's funny, isn't it? It's like the same as people that call up to say. I mean,
I'm pretty sure I was one of those kids that lied and just said like I'd got a new alien from the shop, and I came in being like, I only had the blue one and the green one yesterday. Now I've got this one. It's a little baby one, and everyone's like, whoa.
Did they start off small though? I can't remember.
No, they just you could get small ones. I think you could get ones that were big, and then it had a small one in there as well. So you could get small ones, and I think that's what kids used to use to lie and say that.
Well, I think as well, like. Yes, it's like you accept those sort of lies from children, right? You think you'd grow up to know better, but it's people that call in. I was talking about this earlier, actually, funny enough, like Uri Geller, when he'd be like, "Everyone, hold your watch. You're going to make it work. Say work, watch, work." And then it'd be like on live TV. This used to happen in like the 90s, and then people would phone up and be like, "My watch has started working again. I was just holding it to say work." And then like some of those, it's a fucking you probably just heated the battery up, and it worked. It hasn't worked in 10 years. You probably just warmed the battery up that tiny little bit. It started ticking. Or other people just call up just to fucking say it.
Yeah.
So it's like the adult version.
That did the spoon.
He did, the spoon bending.
Yeah.
I think I've spoken about this prick multiple times because he fucking winds me up. Like, and I've said, if I haven't said it before, I'm just going to say it like again. So I apologise if I said it before, but it's like I always wonder, where does the lie end with Uri Geller? Like, because he knows that he's bullshitting. Like, he knows that. He knows he doesn't really bend spoons with his fucking mind, right? He's in there before the show, bending the fuck out of, like doing like a bendy thing to weaken them, or one of his team is, and then it gets out on the show, wherever the fuck he's doing it, and he pretends to make it fucking bend. That's it. That's all it is. Like, I watched this thing with this guy, James Randi, like debunks him. He made a big thing out of debunking all skeptics, and he like went hard after Uri Geller at one point.
I bet he's buzzing, yeah.
It's a good show. I'll link you to this guy. Loads of him on YouTube. He died recently. R.I.P. James Randi. But yeah, this. I was thinking that. So like, it's bullshit. Do you take to like your wife, because like he's got loads of money off it. He's rich off it. Off this bullshit.
Yeah,
and
who's
it's like,
in on it? Do you
go? Yeah, do you go home and your wife's like, have another good day, bending spoons with your mind? And he's like, hell yeah, that one.
Do you reckon though his wife could have been like a fan, and like she's just believes in it, so he just carries on?
Yeah, maybe, because he had like Michael Jackson liked him, didn't he? He was like famously friends with Michael Jackson and shit. And he actually, this is another reason he's a fucking cunt, because he introduced Martin Bashir to Michael Jackson and said you should do the interview with him, not Louis Theroux. The other option, it was either Louis Theroux or Martin Bashir, and he said, do it, Martin Bashir. And that was basically, I guess one could argue, it depends what side of the fence, one could argue Martin Bashir then discovered the rumours of child, abuse, etc. Or the other argument is that he started the whole fucking bullshit.
Oh yeah.
And the whole reason anyone thought he was weird and odd was because of fucking Martin Bashir. And you probably wouldn't have had the same opinion about Michael Jackson if Louis Theroux had done it. And none of that might have ever happened. Yeah. And he might not have even fucking died because he wasn't on shitloads of painkillers, probably due to the stress of everyone saying he was a child molester. Because if he wasn't that, you'd be quite stressed out about it, I imagine.
I've got a quick question for both of you, actually, relating to the story that you just talked about.
Yeah.
If say tonight, right, you go to bed, but you leave a window open, right?
I'm definitely going to be doing that tonight, by the way.
Right, tonight, yeah. So you leave a window open, and then you're like, oh, fucking hell, like I can hear something, like someone's talking to me, right? And you sort of like come to, and like you're in this like spaceship. You open your eyes fully, like you sort of like you sort of wake up properly. There's an alien species in front of you. What's the first question you're going to ask it?
That's a good question.
I'd ask if I could come aboard. I want to check them out.
No, you're already aboard. Is what Luke's saying. You wake up, you come to in the ship.
Yeah. Like, what's the first thing you're going to say to it?
How's it going?
Do you have Elvis? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
I just like show me something cool. Like show me the coolest thing that's going to blow my mind.
I just got what you said. How's it going? Yeah. Or like, did you? Can you really stop? Do you really stop fucking nuclear weapons or some shit? Or like,
Where is Abbie Bela's boyfriend?
I mean, yeah. Do you really actually know Abbie Bela? Because I think I'll ask him. Will you come do an interview with us? Because this will be mad popular, like on YouTube.
Imagine. Yeah, that'd be a great.
Like, I've seen the £1 fish video. It's great.
they're up there, and they've got like this mad, like, I don't know, monitors, well, not monitors, but they're versions of like a display. And
that's what you. Yeah,
that's it. You can just see like £1 fish.
They're just playing Curios cast. Yeah.
Well, you don't know. They might be listening now. For all you know,
they might be listening. But you know what? We really like your content. We noticed you ain't got many subs, so we thought we'd reach out to you.
Yeah.
And
there we go.
Speaking of like when you said about lies that kids tell, like about rubbing their backs together and on those aliens and stuff.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I told my mate that I ate so much flaming hot Monster Munch that I breathed fire. And I don't know if he believed it at the time, but he still brings it up. He's like, do you remember that? Sometimes we might be like arguing, and I'm like, I'm being honest, that I wouldn't lie. And he goes, well, you would, because when we were 7 years old, you told me that you breathed fire from eating Monster Munch. I was like, yeah, I did. Good. And I think I backtracked at the time. I was like, I ate so much, I breathed fire. And I was like, oh, not like a lot of fire though. I kind of burped, and there was like a flame with some smoke or whatever.
Mate, that's absolutely amazing.
That's good.
Yeah, and he still fucking brings it up. But
have you yet tried this theory out since you're older, Tom?
No, I haven't. I need to.
Pretty confident.
I need to get some flaming hot Monster Munch, and
they still exist.
Yeah, surely.
I've seen them about lately.
Have you looked for them?
No, actually, no. No,
they're still about, definitely.
They're still about, man. Still about. But yeah, I think that's probably wraps up today's proceedings.
Thanks for joining us, Luke.
Thanks, Luke. Yeah.
No worries.
First time. Hope it won't be the last time. I'm sure.
Yeah.
No
George
worries,
will have some other penis surgery or something.
Yeah, we still don't know where he is. He hasn't got back to us. It's a mystery.
Yeah, no idea. So.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah. George, if you're listening, give us an email. Maybe George is knocking about with them aliens.
Maybe he's with Abbie Bela's boyfriend.
Could be, yeah.
Visiting Annabella, or was it
Abbie Bela?
Her name? Abbie Bela.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Peace. Abbie Bela, big up if you're listening. Hope you have a good time with your boyfriend next time he comes down. If I see him tonight, I'll say hello.
Thanks for listening.
Cheers, Tom. Thanks. Peace.
Bye.